What are some very creepy facts? If you sit in complete darkness and silence long enough, your brain can start creating sounds, shadows, or even the feeling that someone is watching you. It's called sensory deprivation hallucination. Also, statistically, someone out there remembers you for something you don't even remember doing. You might be the villain in someone's story and not even know it. Someone who is reading my words right now won't be alive in 5 years. Your brain can create false memories that feel completely real. You don't know anyone in this thread, probably never will, but you might listen to and remember what they said, even as you lay awake 18 night. Scar tissue doesn't just form and then it's done. It's a constant active process involving something to do with collagen. If you develop scurvy, the lack of vitamin C will mean that your collagen cannot synthesize properly, and all your old scars will just open. There's a rare psychiatric disorder called Capgras delusion, where you think your family and friends have been replaced by imposters. There's the part of your brain that recognizes faces, and the part that stores memories and feelings associated with a person. In a normally functioning brain, when you see a person you recognize, your brain looks up the feelings associated with that person. In Capgras, that process fails, so when you see someone you know and love, you get this strong sense that it just doesn't feel like that person. So your brain reconciles that disconnect by concluding that the person must be an imposter or duplicate. You can imagine the paranoia it would lead to if suddenly every important person in your life felt off, and you thought everyone was an alien clone or something. Most laugh tracks used by TV shows to simulate an audience were recorded in the 50s, 70s, and the people laughing in them have since died. When you hear a laugh track, it's most likely dead people laughing. Chainsaws were invented for childbirth. That which is not alive cannot be killed. Prions scare me. The fact that fatal familial insomnia exists. It's a rare genetic disorder where, usually in your 40s or 50s, your brain just stops being able to enter sleep. It starts with mild insomnia and progresses until you completely lose the ability to sleep at all. You spend months in a state of permanent exhaustion and hallucinations until your body eventually just shuts down. There's no cure, and you're basically a passenger in your own mind while it slowly breaks. Your eyes have a separate immune system from the rest of your body. If your main immune system ever finds out your eyes exist, it will treat them as a foreign threat and try to dissolve them. You are basically walking around with two roommates who can never meet, because one of them will definitely try to murder the other. Your tattoo is held in place by an immune response, permanently. Due to 95% of Australia being uninhabited, experts believe several undetected serial killers may exist, with their victims lost in the vast landscape. The slower you move through space, the faster you move through time. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Astronauts age slower while in orbit. Photons don't age at all. A pack of playing cards has 52 factorial permutations, which exceeds the number of atoms in our galaxy. So this means a well-shuffled pack of cards likely contains an order that has never been seen or will likely be seen again. Quite astonishing, really. Have you ever parked and wondered, HTF, did I get home? No, you aren't zoned out. Your brain found nothing eventful in the activity worth keeping, and you've done the drive like this so often. Your brain actively dumps the memory. You don't need it taking up space. Our brains were adapted to survey and identify threats. No threat. Safe. Dump it. Very similar effect of going through a doorway. Your brain sees the doorway as a transition. Everything behind you is safe, and so your brain forgets it, simplifying it way down for length. Human memory is far more prone to creating stuff that's not real to fill in the gaps than we like to think. To us, the memory is rock solid. Absolute certainty of an accurate recollection of how something went. In reality, if you compared it to an actual audio-visual recording of the events, you'll start to notice that you were way off on major details. Even if you'd swear on your mother's grave that you were 100% right. Basically, your memory of the past is largely an illusion your brain created, and you don't actually remember much that's factually accurate. Not to say your memory is useless. It's not. But it's not a matter of this memory is hazy. It's the memories you think are accurate probably aren't. Sometimes in really important ways. People that do horrible things often genuinely believe they didn't do those things, or that the context was wildly different, even accounting for differences in perspective. Even after that, not even maliciously, their brain will recreate what happened as a totally different series of events, and they'll pass any lie detector test out there with their version of events. They are still finding bones of people that died in World War I, and there is a large area of Europe that can never be built on or farmed because of the unknown explosives and toxic chemicals in the ground from the battles. More than 100 years later, it's still cursed. In the 1950s, a physician working at Johns Hopkins Hospital took a biopsy of tumor belonging to one of his patients. Using the tissue, he managed to start cultivating the tumor cells in the lab. This was the establishment of the most successful cell line in history, the HeLa cell line. The patient, Henrietta Lacks, never agreed to having the sample taken and cultivated. She later died of the cancer. It has been estimated that to date, about 50 million metric tons of her cells has been grown in labs all over the world. Bog bodies, ancient human corpses. We're talking humans from 10,000 years ago that have been found in peat bogs in northern Europe. These are humans from as early as 8,000 BCE that are suspected to have been sacrificed in violent, ritualistic murders. If that isn't enough to creep you out, the environment of the bog keeps much of their body preserved hair, skin, organs all kept intact. So the bodies have retained much of their original human form except for their bones, which are dissolved. Look up pictures of a bog body, they are so fascinating. Creepy, too. Forensic anthropologists have even discovered remnants of a last meal in several of these bodies. I guess vegetable porridge and gruel were popular way back in the day. Deaf schizophrenics, instead of hearing voices, will see hands performing sign language. You were already living inside your mother, as an egg when your mother was inside your grandmother's womb. During some near-death experiences, people report having their life flashing before their eyes. It doesn't have to be in chronological order, it just flashes. Additionally, scientists found that gamma brain waves occur waves advanced with advanced cognition, thinking in some brains right after the heart stops up until the brain completely dies. But what the scientific community says, which makes reasonable sense, is that when the brain realizes that when the heart stops and oxygen levels plummet fast, the brain uses all of its last energy to look through all of its memories to try to make sense of this unprecedented catastrophic thing that's happening to it. There's this condition where people go blind not because their eyes don't work, but because the connection to their occipital lobe is wonky. They can instinctively dodge obstacles without their conscious brain registering them. If you show them pictures of smiling people, they will start to smile, but not know why. And if you ask them why they're smiling, the conscious part of their brain will immediately make up an explanation, such as, "Oh, I was thinking of a funny joke," and they'll wholeheartedly believe the answer they give. It's evidence that free will isn't real, and most of our decisions are made involuntarily by our subconscious. And our conscious brain just makes up some bullshit to justify it, and make us think we're in control of our actions, when really it's our subconscious in the driver's seat. People technically have seen scary things in a bathroom mirror when doing the Bloody Mary challenge, but it's not something supernatural. It's the Troxler effect that causes optical illusions when focusing on a single point for longer than a few seconds. Compound that with a flickering candle and a dark bathroom, and usually the young age of people doing it, they'll see something very scary indeed. Fun fact, there are more than 200 corpses on Mount Everest, and some of them are actually used as trail markers by climbers. One guy known as Green Boots has been lying near a cave since 1996, and people just walk right past him on the way to the summit. The altitude makes it nearly impossible to retrieve bodies, so they just stay there forever. The uncanny valley effect. Evolutionary traits usually develop for a reason. The fact that humans have a built-in, visceral fear response to things that look almost human, but not quite, implies that at some point in our ancestry, there was a legitimate survival reason to be afraid of something that looked like a person but wasn't. In 5-7 billion years, our local group of galaxies will merge into one super galaxy. Then the rest of the universe will move away faster than light. So future civilizations will think the universe is just one big galaxy. In 150 billion years, the universe will continue to expand, and the cold, dead galaxy with no lit stars will be ripped around and flung into the universe. In 10 quadrillion years, all stars in the universe will go out. There will be no new material to make them. The last remaining energy source will be black holes, so there may be some late universe black hole civilizations. In 10,100 years, every black hole will evaporate and cease to exist. So no more energy sources and life will end. Eventually, the expansion of the universe will lead to the big rip that will rip all matter apart down to just quarks. Every you ever did will not matter. All civilizations will not matter. There will be no record. The universe will die a cold death that will last an infinite amount of time. It gets worse. Over an infinite amount of time, an infinite number of random events will happen in an infinite universe. It is possible your consciousness comes back in a cold, dead universe. You will have no physical form, will be completely alone and not know what happened. You could last an instant or an infinite amount of time. On the day of your funeral, everyone in attendance is mourning a different person. No two people know you in the same way, and none of them know the person who you feel like they know.